Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope this first week of the year is going well for you. Today, I want to talk about your two most powerful raw vegan tools or resources. But before you click away, if you're not interested in raw vegan, if you're not, obviously you don't have to be fully raw vegan. It could be whole food, plant-based, but the two tools that I'm actually recommending are kind of across the board for life. You can get some benefit out of this, so stick around. And hey, any of you out there, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'm gonna start putting out a lot of new content soon. I'd really appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button now, then click on the little bell and check send notifications, and come back and check out some more content. I think I've mentioned to you guys before that I lurk in vegan Facebook groups from time to time. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, but I will go read comments underneath. I go to forums, but I see this on a lot of different subjects. And the point that I'm getting to here is that people are ignoring a couple of resources, tools, and that's why I picked these out that are just, it's almost like we have this just whole library at our fingertips, and that is Google and YouTube. Google and YouTube. I can't tell you how many times I see in comments on anywhere, and in and in plant-based groups, vegan groups, it's even worse. Like, people just listen. And first, I'm going to differentiate. Well, I'll differentiate in a minute. Let me get into it first. But it's like, you know, somebody, like, for instance, I'll see something, it was something to do with sprouting in a group that I was in. And I just happened to read a comment in there, where can you get the seeds? And I'm like, okay, now you're in a, number one, when you're asking questions in Facebook groups, or when you're asking questions on, more so in Facebook groups, because a lot of times the creator will answer when it's a YouTube video or it's Instagram, but wherever, when you're answering something like that, you're just waiting. And a lot of the truth being, in a lot of these groups, it's a lot of the blind following the blind, where people are just randomly posting answers that they think to be. And sometimes I'm reading down these replies and I'm going, wow, this is abysmal. When all you got to do, Google and YouTube. I mean, there is really, I was sitting around joking with my roommate earlier this week, and we were talking about, because I'm 58, he's 60 years old, we grew up in the same hometown, and we were talking about how it used to be, like when we were in high school and college. You could be sitting around at night and you could be discussing something, you get into an argument like, who did this back in 1980, or who did this back in 1977? And this person says this person says that, and all you're going to do is sit around all night and argue about it. Now, with these resources, we basically, there's nothing that we don't hardly know. I mean, there's opinions on things. I'm not saying everything, you know, is factual that's out there that we Google. In fact, you have to do your due diligence. But we have these two very, very powerful resources. Now, where I said I was going to differentiate, or I was going to make a distinction, I understand when somebody like asks a very specific question and they want somebody's opinion on it. But when you are just straight up looking for facts, you're just wasting time. You're hoping like you make a question out there, and you're just hoping that somebody's going to respond. And then next, you're hoping that somebody that responds will be halfway will know what they're talking about. And a lot of times when you do it like this, and this is the biggest thing that causes confusion, when you do it in these open forum areas, you're going to have like 15 replies all arguing with each other, and you're just going to get more and more confused. This is what I do when I am it's been for me personally ever since I've followed this lifestyle, and I use this approach in other areas of my life. And I will say, even though I'm 58, I'm a little bit more into technology and computers and all this kind of stuff than maybe most people my age. But I also had a job. Like when I first moved to Costa Rica in 1999, I had a job down there that involved me doing lots of searches. So maybe that's why I just have it in my brain to always go to Google and always go to YouTube. Now, I include YouTube because a lot of times when you search things on Google, you're going to get kind of the mainstream. It's a little bit more conservative in its answers, and it's like everything else is allegedly or this or that. Whereas on YouTube, you can get some more nuances to it and things that don't necessarily show up on Google. But it's not a total fix. I mean, you still have to have some common sense. You still have to use your intelligence to go through, because there's a lot. Now here's the part about it. There's a lot of garbage out there. When you Google something, you get a lot of, like, the way out the algorithm and especially searches works on Google is you're not necessarily, say you search a term, raw vegan recipes, you're not necessarily getting the best information on that first page of searches. You're getting, like, a lot of these people either have paid for Google ads, or they're bigger companies and they have people that are very effective at knowing how to work that algorithm and get on the front page. But like I say, being on that front page does not always mean that that's the best information. In other words, a lot of times the top 3 things that come up on any search are not your best information. I find a lot of the stuff on the raw vegan lifestyle, I will search both. I'll search Google and I'll search YouTube, and I'll kind of cross. And a lot of times I like to weed things out. I like to see what different sources of mine agree on. I like to see what they disagree on. But also too, you cut out the chatter when you're like doing it yourself. You're not you don't have the temptation to argue with somebody. You don't get distracted by this person telling another person that responded that they're an idiot. It's just a it's just a better process. It's just a more thoughtful process, and you can figure all this stuff out on your own. And all that stuff is out there. Listen, you are never going to do this lifestyle or, like I say, apply this to any other thing you want if you're just sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. You're just constantly waiting for your guru, waiting for whoever you watch, just waiting, when you can be proactive and do it yourself. So one last thing I will say too, and I didn't learn this even though I've been doing searches for a long time. You don't have to just search terms too. You can write a whole question, everything that you're thinking in your head right now, like how many of this and that do you need in blah 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 blah. You can put it just like that. And even get used to, I'm trying to get a lot more used to use the voice stuff. Like we have an Alexa in the kitchen, and obviously I have Siri on my phone. And that's a time-saving tool too. Instead of every time you want to do something, going to Google and typing in, all you got to do is pick up your phone, or if you've got an Alexa, and say, Siri, what is blah, blah, blah? And you got it. So, like I said, if you like to interact with people, if you like to see what other people think, still do that. But go to Google, go to YouTube, and do your research on your own. Make your mind up on your own, and then if it works out for you, good. And if it doesn't work out for you, either way, it's in your hands. It's your fault if you fail. It's your fault if you succeed. So you take the responsibility. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Have a beautiful rest of the week, and I will see you here tomorrow or the next day. Peace.